Long before banks, before stock markets, before digital payments, a network of dusty roads quietly connected the world. It didn't just move silk, spices, or gold. It moved ideas, trust, and the earliest forms of global finance. This is the story of the Silk Road and how it gave birth to global trade finance. When we imagine the ancient world, we often think of isolated civilizations, Rome, China, Persia, India, each developing separately. But the truth is very different. For over 1,500 years, these civilizations were linked by a vast network of trade routes known as the Silk Road. Stretching from China to the Mediterranean, it was the world's first true global economy. The Silk Road was not a single road. It was a complex web of land and sea routes crossing deserts, mountains, and empires. Merchants traveled thousands of miles carrying silk, spices, jade, silver, and ideas. But there was a massive problem: money. Trade at this scale could not survive on barter alone. Carrying large amounts of gold or silver across dangerous routes invited theft, loss, and ruin. A merchant could spend years traveling, only to lose everything to bandits or storms. To survive, traders needed new financial tools, and they invented them. This is where global trade finance began. In ancient China, merchants developed early credit systems. Instead of transporting heavy coins, they deposited wealth with trusted agents and received written claims, early forms of bills of exchange. These documents could be redeemed elsewhere, reducing risk and increasing speed. This concept would later transform global banking. At the same time, the Persian Empire introduced sophisticated money-changing networks. Traders passing through different regions faced multiple currencies, each with varying purity and value. Persian financiers specialized in currency exchange, pricing risk into transactions. This was the early foundation of foreign exchange markets. As Islam spread across Central Asia and the Middle East, trade finance evolved further. Islamic merchants developed the Hawala system, a trust-based transfer method where money could be sent across vast distances without physically moving it. A merchant paid an agent in one city, and a partner agent paid the recipient in another city, based entirely on reputation and trust. No paper, no coins, just confidence. This system was fast, efficient, and remarkably resilient. Variations of it still exist today. Caravans crossing the Silk Road also relied on partnership contracts. Investors financed trade expeditions in exchange for a share of the profits. Losses were shared. Risk was distributed. This early form of joint investment reduced individual exposure and allowed larger, more ambitious trade ventures. In essence, merchants created the first venture capital. Insurance also emerged from necessity. Traders faced unpredictable dangers: weather, theft, war. To manage this uncertainty, merchants pooled risk. If one caravan failed, the loss was spread across many investors. This principle later became maritime insurance in medieval Europe. The Silk Road did more than move goods; it moved financial knowledge. When Europeans reconnected with Eastern trade during the Middle Ages, they absorbed these systems. Italian merchants adopted letters of credit. Banks in Venice and Florence refined partnership models. Double-entry bookkeeping evolved to track increasingly complex transactions. Without the Silk Road, modern banking would not exist. But trade finance was not just about efficiency. It reshaped power. Cities along the Silk Road became financial hubs. Samarkand, Baghdad, Constantinople, and Chang'an flourished because they controlled flows of goods and money. Whoever controlled trade routes controlled wealth. Empires rose not just through conquest, but through commerce. The Silk Road also introduced the world to paper money. China's use of paper currency shocked foreign merchants, but its advantages were undeniable. Lightweight, scalable, and transferable, paper money represented a leap forward in financial abstraction. Money was no longer metal, it was belief. This idea would echo centuries later in fiat currency and digital money. As trade expanded, so did regulation. Governments taxed commerce, standardized weights, and protected routes. Early financial governance emerged. Trust shifted from individuals to institutions. Trade finance became structured, predictable, and scalable. Yet the Silk Road also revealed finance's dark side. Exploitation, monopolies, and inequality grew alongside prosperity. Control over trade routes meant control over economies. Financial dominance often preceded political domination. Eventually, the Silk Road declined. Sea routes proved faster and cheaper. New empires rose. But the systems it created did not disappear. They migrated. Modern global trade finance, letters of credit, international banking, foreign exchange, insurance, investment partnerships, all trace their roots to Silk Road innovations. Today, when a company imports goods using trade credit, hedges currency risk, insures shipments, or finances supply chains, it is using tools born thousands of years ago. The Silk Road teaches us a powerful lesson. Globalization did not begin with the internet. It began when humans learned to trust beyond borders. Trade requires more than goods. It requires belief. Belief that payment will arrive, that contracts will be honored, that systems will work across cultures. That belief became finance. In our modern world of digital payments, blockchain, and instant transfers, we face the same challenges ancient merchants faced: trust, risk, and coordination. Technology has changed, but the foundations remain. The Silk Road reminds us that finance is not just about profit. It is about connection. It is about enabling cooperation between strangers. It is about turning distance into opportunity. From camel caravans to global supply chains, the evolution of trade finance tells the story of how the world became interconnected. And it all began on dusty roads, under open skies, where merchants took risks, built trust, and unknowingly shaped the future of global finance. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden financial history of the Silk Road, like, subscribe.